Attention passionate Seattle, SEAHAWKS fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been following the Seahawks over the past few weeks, you've probably sensed that something's brewing, something that could dramatically reshape the team's future. And believe me, this isn't just hype, it's a seismic shift in the making. The Seahawks, after a decent 10-7 season under Mike Macdonald, are once again looking to elevate their game, but not just through coaching adjustments or draft picks. No, what's grabbing everyone's attention is the potential addition of a veteran quarterback who could be a real game changer. Yes, I'm talking about Kirk Cousins. Now, let's set the stage. Last season, the Seahawks fought hard in a fiercely competitive NFC. The division was stacked, with teams like the 49ers and Eagles showing their might, and the Seahawks, despite their efforts, just missed out on the playoffs. It was a season filled with promise but also missed opportunities, especially on offense. Geno Smith, who was the starting quarterback, had moments of brilliance, throwing for over 300 yards and 21 touchdowns. But let's be honest, it wasn't enough to elevate the team to where they want to be. Smith had his struggles, especially with turnovers, throwing 15 interceptions, third most in the league, and at times, he seemed to hold the offense back. That's why the Seahawks are now looking at options to improve that position, and Kirk Cousins has emerged as a prime candidate. Cousins' situation is interesting. His future with the Atlanta Falcons is uncertain now. The Falcons decided to go with Michael Penix Jr., their promising first-round draft pick from 2024, which means Cousins might be looking for a new team. At 36 years old, Cousins is at a crossroads. His recent performance hasn't been at the peak level we saw earlier in his career, especially after suffering that season-ending Achilles injury in 2023. The numbers tell part of the story. He posted a 72.3 PFF grade, which isn't stellar, and his 4.6% turnover-worthy play rate was among the highest in the league. Still, Cousins remains a veteran with a lot of experience, and for a team like the Seahawks, adding him could bring stability, leadership, and a much-needed boost to their offensive efficiency. But why would Cousins be interested in heading to Seattle? Well, for starters, his situation with the Falcons leaves him in a position where he might be looking to move on. The team's shift to Penix Jr. signals that Cousins might not be part of their long-term plans anymore. And with the Seahawks, he could find an environment that values his experience. Plus, there's that Kubiak connection. Clint Kubiak, the Seahawks' new offensive coordinator, previously worked with Cousins during his time with the Minnesota Vikings. That's a key point. When Kubiak was calling plays for Cousins, they had a pretty successful run, ranking in the top half of the league in yards, scoring, and passing offense. That familiarity and proven success could be exactly what Seattle needs to unlock Cousins' potential once again. Now, let's talk about Geno Smith for a moment. It's a tough reality, but the truth is, Smith struggled last season. Despite throwing for a hefty 320 yards, he couldn't avoid turnovers, throwing 15 interceptions. That's a red flag in any team's eyes. At 34, he showed flashes of leadership and competence, but the inconsistency and those costly mistakes made it clear that the Seahawks need more stability at quarterback if they truly want to contend. That's where Cousins comes into play. He brings not only experience, but also a level of consistency that could help Seattle push over the edge. A guy who's thrown for over 500 yards and 18 touchdowns last season, even with his struggles, still demonstrated that he can lead a team to victories. And here's something that shouldn't be overlooked: the Kubiak-Cousins synergy. When Kubiak was the offensive coordinator for Minnesota, Cousins flourished. They ranked 12th in total yards, 14th in scoring, and 11th in passing offense. That's not just a coincidence. It's a testament to how well they work together and how much potential there is to tap into again. For the Seahawks, signing Cousins wouldn't just be about filling a quarterback vacancy. It's about bringing in someone who can operate Kubiak's scheme effectively, someone who understands the system and can execute it with precision. If Kubiak can once more get the best out of Cousins, Seattle's offense could see a significant upgrade this season. But let's also consider the bigger picture. The Seahawks are not just looking for a stopgap. They're eyeing a long-term solution, especially if they want to build a team that can contend for Super Bowls in the coming years. Drafting a young quarterback is always on the table, but having an experienced guy like Cousins could accelerate their development. It's about balance, pairing youth with experience, and that's precisely what Cousins can offer. Plus, his leadership qualities and ability to read defenses could be invaluable for a team that's still trying to find its identity after last season's near miss. Of course, there are questions. Can Cousins fit into Seattle's system right away? Will his age be a concern? And most importantly, how will the fans and the locker room react to such a high-profile move? These are valid questions, and the truth is, the Seahawks are weighing their options carefully. But the potential upside is enormous. A quarterback of Cousins' caliber, especially one who's familiar with Kubiak's scheme, could be the piece that finally pushes Seattle over the edge and into that elite tier of NFL teams. That's the dream, isn't it, to see the Seahawks competing at the highest level, with a quarterback who can manage the game, make smart decisions, and lead the team through tough moments. And let's not forget the strategic aspect here. With Cousins in the fold, the Seahawks could also consider drafting a quarterback later in the draft, knowing they have that veteran presence to lead the team now. It's about building a roster that's competitive on all fronts. Cousins' contract situation, with his recent deal being around $180 million, does pose some cap challenges, but the Seahawks have shown they're willing to be flexible to bring in talent that can make a real difference. Moving on from Cousins might save some cap space, but the potential return in terms of leadership and offensive production makes it worth exploring. In the end, this is a story about seeking stability, experience, and a shot at redemption. The Seahawks are no strangers to making bold moves, and this one could define their 2025 season. They've already laid the groundwork with their coaching staff and draft strategy, and now, adding a seasoned quarterback like Kirk Cousins could be the final piece of the puzzle. The NFC West is only getting tougher, with the 49ers, Rams, and other teams constantly improving, so Seattle needs to act decisively. As Seahawks fans, we've seen this team grow, face setbacks, and come back stronger. And this move, if it happens, could be the catalyst for a new era, one where the Seahawks are no longer just contenders but serious Super Bowl favorites. The question remains, will they pull the trigger? Will the opportunity to bring Cousins to Seattle materialize? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory for Seahawks fans. So stay tuned, because we'll be here every step of the way, breaking down every update, every rumor, and every move that could lead Seattle back to the promised land. Remember, the NFL offseason is never boring, especially when your team is involved in such a pivotal story. Whether you're a diehard supporter of the Seahawks or just love following the roller coaster of NFL news, you won't want to miss what's coming next. From potential trades to draft picks, from coaching changes to player signings, the Seahawks are in a position to make some serious waves this year. And as always, we'll be here to deliver the most detailed, insightful, and engaging coverage possible. So buckle up, fans, because the best is yet to come. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move for Kirk Cousins? Do you believe it's the right step forward? Are you excited about the possibility of seeing Cousins under center for the Seahawks in 2025? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. Whether you're optimistic or cautious, we want to hear your voice. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seahawks news, rumors, and analysis. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most pivotal in Seahawks history, and you won't want to miss a second of it. Thanks for watching, and go Seahawks!